So today we're diving into the story of a guy named James Desboro. He's a man of inherited wealth, endless free time. He literally has everything you could possibly want. Well, everything except a reason to get out of bed in the morning. And his entire aimless world gets flipped upside down when he meets a woman who is his polar opposite, forcing him to look at the massive void at the center of his own life.
This one question he asks, why entertain preference for anything or anybody, pretty much sums up his entire philosophy on life. Now, this isn't some deep wisdom. It's a shield. It's a profound, protective cynicism. He just drifts, playing no favorites, thinking that this detachment somehow keeps him safe. But what it really does is leave him completely empty, with no passion, no direction, and zero real connection to the world around him. And this slide, wow, it really lays out the two colliding universes at the heart of the story. On one side, you've got Desboro's world, all leisure and social circles, funded by money he didn't earn and is slowly burning through. And on the other side, Jacqueline Nevers. Her world is built from the ground up on professionalism, hard work, and a success she earned herself. I mean, they could not be more different.
And you guessed it, these two worlds are about to smash right into each other. See, Desboro is getting annoyed by his mounting debts, and he realizes he needs to figure out what his huge, neglected collection of antiques is actually worth. This isn't a passion project, okay? It's pure financial necessity. And to do that, he's got to hire an expert.
So Desboro makes this classic, critical assumption. He strolls into this famous antique shop expecting to meet the legendary master, a Mr. Louis Nevers. But he's caught completely flat-footed when he finds out Mr. Nevers has actually passed away, and the whole show is now being run by his daughter, Jacqueline.
And this is the moment it all pivots. His exclamation, "You," it's just dripping with surprise and, let's be honest, a little condescension. A woman as the expert? Her reply is so simple but so powerful. That is my profession. And right there in that one exchange, the entire dynamic is set. He's all about inherited status. She is all about earned expertise. And neither one of them is ready for what's coming.
So Jacqueline takes the job, and their work kicks off at Desboro's huge country estate, Silverwood. But as she gets started with her very methodical appraisal, it becomes crystal clear she's cataloging a lot more than just his antiques. She's basically forcing him to take a hard look at his own chaotic, neglected life.
At first, that class divide is a canyon between them. He kind of dismissively calls her a bourgeois shopkeeper, and she just sees him as another member of the idle, cynical rich. But as they talk, surrounded by all these dusty old treasures, something starts to shift. Through these sharp, witty conversations, a real mutual respect starts to form, and that disorganized collection becomes the perfect metaphor for his entire life, a massive inheritance of potential that he's just let gather dust.
As they work together, Jacqueline's purposeful, organized presence starts to bring order not just to the antiques, but to Desboro himself. You start to see this incredible change. He begins ignoring calls from his lazy friends, telling them he has to attend to his own business. He's ditching his pointless city routines. For the very first time in his life, he's actually engaged, he's present, and he's finding this sense of purpose he never even knew was missing.
But of course, just as he's building this brand new foundation with Jacqueline, the ghosts of his irresponsible past decide to show up. The life he built on casual affairs and zero consequences comes roaring back to destroy everything he's just started to build. And the timing of it all is just brutal. He proposes, she says yes, and they have a quiet wedding. This should be the beginning of their new life together. But on their wedding day, literally on their wedding day, Jacqueline accidentally overhears this intense, desperate conversation between her new husband and his married mistress, a Mrs. Clydesdale.
Just imagine hearing these words from the other room. "This has got to end. I can't stand it, Jim." The desperation in that voice makes one thing horrifically clear. This wasn't some old flame from his past. No, this affair was ongoing. It was still happening, even as he was courting and proposing to Jacqueline.
Now, for a woman like Jacqueline, whose entire life, her whole identity is built on integrity, this is an absolute catastrophe. It doesn't just shatter her trust in him, it shatters the very foundation of the future she thought they were building. The man she married wasn't some reformed character, he was a guy who brought his lies with him right to the altar.
So here he is. His marriage is in ruins the second it begins. And Desboro is finally forced to reckon with the true cost of living a life without any character. There's no smooth talking his way out of this one. It's time to face the consequences.
And this is his moment of painful clarity. He finally gets it. He finally understands that all those basic rules of life he thought he was too clever to follow, things like responsibility, honesty, basic decency, they aren't suggestions. They're unchangeable laws. He sees his whole life has been just one long, failed attempt to outrun the simple truth of what it means to be a good person.
And this brings us right to the story's core idea, the title itself, The Business of Life. And no, it's not about commerce or making money. It's about the essential, unavoidable work every single person has to do. The work of building character, of facing your responsibilities, and earning a meaningful partnership. Because, as the story puts it, whether you're idle or hardworking, at the last, every soul in the world must die in harness. You simply cannot escape the real work.
In the end, James Desboro's journey is a really powerful reminder that a real future isn't built on what we're given, but on what we earn through our own actions and our own character. And it leaves us with a pretty big question to think about in our own lives. What past debts do we all need to settle before we can truly start building a meaningful future?